Well, good evening once again. Day 35 of the Biden administration. We now have new accounts of the deadly insurrection, the riot at our Capitol, from the very chief of security officials on duty that day as a mob screaming, "Hang Mike Pence," overran the building and carried out the deadly siege that went on for hours. Today, Congress started its formal investigation into the attack. Senators from two committees this morning heard from one Capitol officer who fought off the rioters.
At some point, my right arm got wedged between rioters and the railing along the wall. A CDU sergeant pulled my right arm free, and had he not, I'm certain it would have been broken. I received chemical burns to my face that still have not healed to this day. I witnessed officers being knocked to the ground and hit with various objects that were thrown by rioters. As an American and as an Army veteran, it's sad to see us attacked by our fellow citizens.
Last month, the Washington Post reported that 3 days before the insurrection, an internal Capitol Police alert warned that Congress could be the target of a violent attack. But according to three now resigned officials, Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, House Sergeant-at-Arms Paul Irving, Senate Sergeant-at-Arms Michael Stenger, that warning never made it to any of the top officials who were charged with securing our Capitol.
I actually, just in the last 24 hours, was informed by the department that they actually had received that report. It was received by what we call one of our sworn members that's assigned to the Joint Terrorism Task Force, which is a task force with the FBI. They received it the evening of the 5th, reviewed it, and then forwarded it over to an official at the intelligence division over at U.S. Capitol Police Headquarters.
And so you hadn't seen it yourself?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Stenger, did you get the report?
No.
Okay. Mr. Irving?
I did not.
Today, the Post reports another warning about violent extremists calling for an assault on Congress was sent to a D.C. police email inbox and to a member of the Capitol Police. The officials who testified today all agreed the 1-6 attack was planned and that it involved white supremacist and extremist groups.
We plan for an increased level of violence at the Capitol and that some participants may be armed. What we got was a military-style coordinated assault. I witnessed insurgents beating police officers with fists, pipes, sticks, bats, metal barricades, and flagpoles. These criminals came prepared for war. These people came specifically with equipment. You're bringing climbing gear to a demonstration. You're bringing explosives. You're bringing chemical spray. They were planning on our agency not being at what they call full strength.
Their testimony laid bare the chaos, the mistakes, the tangled bureaucracy that prolonged the siege. And there were conflicting stories about the response. In his written statement, that man, the former Capitol Police Chief's son, said he had spoken to both sergeants-at-arms about a request for approval to call the National Guard in right after 1 p.m. That account was not backed up today.
I did not receive a request for approval for National Guard until shortly after 2 p.m. when I was in Michael Stenger's office.
Let me get that straightened out. Mr. Sund, do you know when you asked for National Guard assistance? Was it 1:09 or was it 2 p.m.?
It was 1:09, sir.
The first conversation I had with Chief Sund in that time frame was at 1:28, 1:30.
Acting D.C. Metropolitan Police Chief Robert Conti described what happened when the call to request the National Guard finally did go out.
Chief Sund was pleading for the deployment of the National Guard. And in response to that, there was not an immediate yes. The National Guard is responding. Yes, the National Guard is on the way. The response was more asking about the plan, what was the plan for the National Guard? But my response to that was simply, I was just stunned that, I have officers that were out there literally fighting for their lives.
Today's testimony did not hold everyone's attention. Ted Cruz, back in the Senate after his one-day Cancun getaway, spent some of the hearing on his phone.